Hey friends, we are back at the Crashdown. In case you didn't see it before, that was our little bed and breakfast area. There will be a link in the description for the full video. We are now building the stage area. So my thought for this was that every good festival needs a good stage. So the stage would be for concerts, for lectures, for panel discussion, for dancing, just whatever you want it to be, right? But every festival we've ever been to has a central stage area where everyone gathers either during a concert or a lecture or whatever, or afterwards, just to wind down with a local band or a hired band or anything else. But a good stage area is 100% a must for a festival venue. And that's what we're doing here. You can also see that there's some mathing involved. There's always mathing involved. And you know I hate mathing. Thank goodness for the little ruler, or it would never be right. I also adjusted quite a few times. I wanted to make sure that it was going to work with the fairy lights. I wanted to make sure it was going to work with the name of our venue. And I wanted to have places on either side to have restroom areas. So the counting and the planning for the stage was a huge ordeal. A huge ordeal. I am embarrassed to tell you how long it actually took me to figure it all out. Once again, I even used the graph paper, right? And that was a good start for the plan. But as you'll see, the stage goes through a few different iterations. But wait till the end. It's magnificent. As for the design, I wanted it to match up with the crash site. So I wanted it to have a little bit of a glow. I wanted it to have a little bit of that honeycomb that the inside of the crash site has. I also wanted the stage itself to be reminiscent of the crash site. So I tried a few different designs. And I think the one that we ended up with was pretty spot on. I also wanted to make sure that the whole stage area was accessible. Of course, I like to do that in my builds. And I wanted to utilize the fairy lights somehow. So you can see here, I'm trying to get the shape of the crash site to kind of mirror here on the stage area, so that when you sat in the bleachers or the chairs, you can look at the stage and it's like, oh yeah, that's right, that looks like the crash site. I think I did a pretty good job here. This is just the first of many remodels the stage is going to get. The back panel was difficult. I wanted it to be higher than the fairy lights, but not too high, so that I could put the name of the venue back there. So I had to kind of get everything else finished first before I was going to be able to see what it was going to look like. We finally got there. We got there. I also came up with a fix here so I wouldn't have to redo the entire stage. I could just add more fairy lights by extending the 2 blocks and having the ramps behind it for when people come up on the stage, they can enter behind the fairy lights and walk through the center. I also noticed being up top there, putting the name of the venue, that stage is really, really dark. And I thought, you know what? The crash site is still on fire. There are fire pits in the crash site, so maybe I can come up with a way to use the lights to make it look like it's on fire with the big copper lights with those big round bulbs. So that's the look I'm going for here. After I slept on it a while, I realized I don't like how those stick up out of the stage. So I went one more down for the next set of lights to see side by side which ones I was going to like better. And I already knew that I was going to like the ones that were further down, but if you've ever tried to bury lights or anything else, you know that it is a big ordeal. Nothing about it is quick. I'm just trying to experiment with the different paths, trying to figure out how I want those sides to look. I know I want to put a couple restrooms, but do I want to keep it beach? Do I want to plant things? And it would have been so much easier to keep it beach. Because anyone who plays Dinkum knows you cannot plant on sand. So I did a lot of shoveling, changing sand to dirt so that I could plant some grass. I was also trying to get rid of the brown grass so that I just had dirt without any grass underneath. It's just very time consuming, and trying to figure out where I wanted the bleachers, where I wanted the chairs, where I wanted them to end in relation to the bed and breakfast. All of these things I maybe could have planned ahead, and it would have been smart to plan ahead, which is maybe why I didn't. but I did eventually get it to dirt, so I was able to plant the grass that I wanted. Every good concert venue has those front VIP seats, right? So that's what these are. These are the little chairs that are up front that you have to get at 3 times the cost of the bleacher seats that are going to be in the back. But again, any concert venue is going to have that. So of course we had to have that too. Once again, math came into play here. Trying to figure out the different levels for the bleachers, trying to figure out how to make the bottom level accessible, trying to figure out how many extra I needed if I wanted a row of bleachers with then a walkway. It was a lot. It was a lot for my little tiny brain to try to figure out. I couldn't tell you how long it took me to figure out how to do it. And all you can do is just try, and then if it doesn't work, do it again and try again, and that's what happened. There was a lot of trial and error. A lot of trial and error. Pitch black, still figuring it out. I've only made 2 more rows of dirt. This is how long it took me, people. This is how long it took me. And it really shouldn't have taken this long. And I'll probably do it again, and it'll take me just as long again. I don't know. I don't know. Again, math. I blame math. In the light of day, I think I finally figured it out. It took so much time, and I still play around with it a little bit. I end up getting rid of the chairs, and I do benches for some bleacher seating. I would love to see some stadium bleachers, you know, like when you go to a college football game. That's what I wanted, but we make do. So I ended up using marble benches instead. And I finally did get it together. I finally got the math to work. It was a long time coming. Here's when I'm realizing, oh, poo crap, I have to do this all on the other side as well. You would think that mirroring the whole section would make it easier. It was not. It was not easier at all. Finally figure out I need ramps in some of these places. All along I wanted to make them accessible, and I had not put that into my plan. But now, yes, ramps up to the first level, and then ramps up to the stage in the back. That way, if you needed ramps, you could go and make your grand entrance behind the fairy lights, or you could just use the stairs that are on all the sides of the stage. Checking out my handiwork, in case you were curious what was happening, and thinking, oh man, I still have all of this to do on the sides. Restrooms are fairly straightforward. Okay, you should sit and appreciate it. That's nice. But then it was the whole, do I need dirt? Do I need sand? And I needed dirt. I knew I was going to plant some grass. And then it was planning the restrooms. Again, I wanted to try and incorporate some of the mushroom for the glow. I wasn't exactly sure. I didn't want them to look exactly like the other ones I had done. So, trial and error. That's just the name of the game at this point. I am always kind of amazed. I mean, I don't know why. When it's all said and done, just how good it looks. Once you try out different things, once you decide against certain things, once you get it tweaked here and there, it always turns out amazing. I have never done a build or been part of a build that didn't turn out amazing. It takes a while, and I know when I don't like it, just like I know when it's like, okay, yeah, this is what I was going for. At some point we lost some video footage, but you can see the end result here, how it has been tweaked a bit. And this is actually on the other side after I mirrored the first side. So this is the end result that I really was happy with. I moved the doors, I moved the fences, but in the end I was very happy with the way it had turned out. So here is our stage area. The stage to match the crash site with the lights to represent the burning crash. Beautiful stage with the ramps and our bathrooms for the reptilians, for the grays. It is a UFO festival site after all. Here's our VIP seating with bleachers in the back. Everybody can come. There are seats for everybody at this festival. Everyone is welcomed. We have our other restrooms. These ones are for the humanoids and the little green men. Everyone's accounted for. Restrooms enough for everybody. Back up through the fairy lights, onto the stage. Beautiful. I actually am very excited with the way it turned out. I had doubts there for a while. Again, it was one of those things that it was a grand idea that I hadn't really planned out very well. Oh, and here it is with the Crashdown highlighted with that beautiful red sky. It's at night with all of the lights on, with the button lights to see what the stage is going to look like. I really like how those lamps look recessed down into the stage. That's probably one of my favorite parts of this whole build are those lamps. And it is beautiful, I gotta say. Watching the sunset, I can imagine that's what we would do, right? Come here, watch the sunset, the band comes on, the lights from the restrooms, Let's see, the restroom lights are in there. Look at the beautiful moon. The whole thing. I do like the mushroom path to kind of light your way when you have to get up during the concert and go to the restroom. You can make sure you can get there on time. Getting up bleachers, accessible by the ramps, and all of the VIP seating in the front. And the restrooms on the side. I mean, this is... I would go to concerts here. I would absolutely spend time here. It's an amazing venue. Part 3 will be the courtyard, where after you do all of this, you can go and gather with your friends and just spend time waiting for the next big concert, the next big lecture. Until then, bye!